In honor of Batman Day, holy podcast, Batman! Welcome to episode 18 of Dysfunctional Nerdcast. I'm Aaron. I'm the one who wants to be like Bane and just get all jacked and juiced up.
And I'm Josh. I would be Batman's sidekick, mostly because I like to wear tights. So I'll be Robin.
So we got a big Comic Con review, Keystone Comic Con. That's going to be the second half of the podcast. But first, we've got a bunch of news that came up in the meantime since our last episode.
Yeah, there's a lot that happened, man.
So we're going to start off with a bunch of horror news.
Horror, love it.
And the first thing is the Halloween trailer came out, the second trailer.
Yeah.
And I'm like the biggest Halloween fanboy, and I fucking hate it. That's right, I hate it, people.
I kind of like that you hate it. It's awesome that you hate it.
It just makes me really angry.
Why is that?
And it's not that it's bad, all right? The quality of it, the tone of it, everything is good.
It's well done, like film-wise, and you know what kind of what you see is cool. But I think that's why you don't like it. It's what, what you see. You're
saying, well, what's there to hate? The fact that they fucking rebooted every single thing in the trailer has happened in the other movies. I don't want to see the other movies a best of version, and you're going to take those and just clip them into one movie, and here you go, and present it as something new. I've seen it 1,000 times, and I love them, but I don't need to see it again as something presented as new.
Now, and you know, I'm not as big of a Halloween fanboy as you, but knowing the movies, as you know, kind of like I do, I'm watching it and I'm like, all right, seen that. That's the first movie. That's the second movie. There's parts of the movie that I don't like, the third one. It's so like people why did you redo things instead of making new, right?
You know, critics are like really acclaiming this movie as it's so great, and fans are really embracing it. Did these people ever watch the entire franchise? I don't understand. So the stuff we're talking about is the long shot where Michael walks down the alleyway, goes into a garage, he goes into the house, and he's going to kill the lady with the hammer. It's the exact scene of Halloween 2. It's what starts the movie. They even have the piece of meat on the cutting board where he takes the knife. She's watching the news. It's the exact same thing. So this movie is supposed to take place after Halloween. We get it. But it's disregarding all the rest of the movies. If you're going to disregard the rest of the movies, why would you just remake them all?
Great point. And that's what I was going to say, man. Like, why would you put elements of the other movie, which you're totally fucking ignoring, and there's nothing new in that trailer, honestly.
Nothing.
Like,
so
it's just
the other stuff that's in there is, you know, he walks up to the kids trick-or-treating. Of course, they stumble into him, and they're like, oh, it's Michael. Not that they know it's Michael, but it's the same scene out of Halloween with Brian Andrews.
Right.
Who gets startled and drops his pumpkin. And in there, you have the homage of the Halloween 3 masks, which that is kind of cool, but it's like, why even bring Halloween 3 into the mix?
Yeah, because nobody likes that fucking movie.
Then they show Michael in the cops inside the house, and they're like barricading it up so Michael can't get in, but he's already in the house. Hello, Halloween 4. And then what? You're going to have Laurie just become like this ruthless, badass bitch? Hello, H2O. What is this movie going to present to me different? And I swear to God, if he dies by like fire or whatnot, I'm going to fucking lose my mind.
What if he falls off a balcony? Backwards, you know, like he did. Like,
it wouldn't surprise me. And like, are you going to try that? Are they going to try to make a sequel out of this? Or is it just going to be like Michael's finally dead and just put the Laurie story aside?
That's what I saw that somewhere where they're like, who's going to die? Is Laurie going to die? Is Michael going to die? Is this just going to be the once and done thing for Halloween? I would kind of hope one of them it's final. Just
I hope
let
they
it go.
do.
Let's let it stop.
But knowing Hollywood, they always try to like build in that sequel into it because they know this movie's going to be successful. I think it's going to make a lot of money. I don't think they're going to leave Halloween off the table. So they're going to try to do something to keep it going.
Or is it enough of a reboot that they can go in a different direction? You know, like Halloween 3, like you always talked about how Halloween 3, like it was supposed to be like Halloween stories, right?
You're correct.
So would this just branch out into a franchise of Halloween movies? So every year around Halloween or every other year, we get like this Halloween story, like these freaky stories. Not
these
necessarily about
ghosts
Michael
or
Myers,
what-
but
zombies, whatever.
yeah, just like a good Halloween story. I don't know. Like, I think that might work, and you put like a good title and then, a Halloween story. Not to rip off the Star Wars thing, but
I mean,
I don't know. I like honestly, the first two Halloween movies are my favorite and the best. I was kind of excited, I was getting the build up for it until I saw this trailer, honestly. And I was just like, And it was funny because I was watching some of Horror's Hollow Grounds to get ready for our interview with Sean Clark. And one of those Hollow Grounds episodes is Michael walking down the alley, going into the garage, going into the house, killing the old lady and everything. And it's like, I just watched this. And then ironically, it's in the trailer. Thanks for nothing new.
I'm still excited to see it. I mean, it kind of kicks off my holiday of Halloween. I got a big party that weekend to go to. It's kind of like the anticipation of it. It's going to be fun.
Sure.
But it better offer me something good, man. And I asked a bunch of diehard Halloween people that are like me. They all love it. So I guess I'm crazy, but I'm like, why do you love it?
Yeah.
They're like, well, I like the other stuff. Okay,
what do they say?
So do I, but I don't need a reboot.
Okay, let me ask, because
I'm not going to rip. I rip Star Wars all the time for doing the same thing over. So I'm not going to be hypocritical and not rip Halloween just because I like it. You're
Sure.
fucking it up.
So you and your fanboy friends, right? Ask this question. Like, do you think this is going more of like the nostalgic route? Like, they put in these things so you can have, like kind of like that nostalgic flashback thing. And if so, did they go? They obviously went too fucking far.
That would be fine, like with the Halloween 3 mask.
Yeah, like that I think is cool.
That would do justice. But he can't take the same scene shot for shot. We discussed from the first trailer, the Halloween H2O beginning with the chick in the bathroom stall and he drops the teeth. Like, It's the same scene. Yeah, he doesn't drop the teeth in the other movie, but other than that, it's a direct ripoff.
Right. So they went
everything
overkill.
they have shown. I haven't seen one thing original yet.
No, neither have I.
So enough for Halloween. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see when it comes out.
We'll definitely have the full movie review come that weekend, 19th, 20th, something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
So the second trailer, which I really enjoyed, was Hellfest. So that comes out September 28th, and that's from Lionsgate. I have a lot of faith in Lionsgate. They come out with good shit.
Yeah. They're always like, you're going to get a decent horror flick from them. It's what they do.
So the premise of Hellfest is basically it's a haunted house, and people go through the haunted house. They don't really know that the murders taking place are real. They just think it's part of the props. So they have to survive the night. I mean, this has been done probably a million times in movies.
Yeah, it has. I watched one last year around Halloween time, and it was a little on the hokey side. You had a little, not really shaky cam, but you had like handheld cam action. But then it went on the outside, so it was like, you saw third person, first person. But the story's been done before, so I'm really interested to see how they do it differently.
Right. But this does look a lot better. This looks like the best version of that I've seen.
Yeah, it looks definitely a step up from the movie I watched. I want to say the one I watched was like Hell House LLC, maybe. And I think it actually has a sequel. I could be wrong on the title. It was decent. But I am curious to see, because this is a whole genre in and of itself, really.
Yeah, it's a subgenre of horror. Yeah,
if absolutely. It's like a lot of them are really subpar and really bad because of the budget. I think they're just terrible. I watched one, and the one I watched was, I think, the House October built or something like that. One of those, or Hell House. I'm sorry, but some of them are really bad because they're so super low budget. Hopefully, Lionsgate gives us what we need. Yeah,
and some of the stuff, I mean, it looks a little soft. It's not like hard R. I believe it is an R rating, though.
I'm not sure.
Because they had a Red Band trailer, so I guess it has to be. But you like the scene with the needle going in the eye. I mean, God. I hate needle. Who doesn't hate? Like, everyone hates needles.
I love it.
And then you see it going in the fucking eyeballs. Like, ugh.
Oh, eyeballs and fingernails and toenails, dude. Oh, yeah. It makes you squirm, but isn't that what you want to see? Well, that's what I want to see in a goddamn horror movie, man. I don't want to see. That's why I like stuff like that better than slasher, because slasher's just like, how many times can you get stabbed or beaten with a machete, a sledgehammer,
Yeah,
an
honestly,
axe?
get cut in half by a chainsaw, but that's nothing. But get your fingernail ripped off, you're like, oh my god, son of a bitch.
Because it's more realistic.
Because you felt it,
Yeah.
in life, so you can experience the pain.
Well, I don't know. I've never had my fingernail
Not too
totally
mu-
ripped off.
Oh, I
but
have, but not too many people have been cut in half by a chainsaw. At least they haven't told about it. So
want to see my scars?
maybe people with saw accidents might be a little bit more squeamish about it.
yeah.
But thank God I haven't had that.
Yeah, no, me neither.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Knock on wood.
No, I think Hellfest looks pretty good, man.
Yeah. So again,
Definitely gonna
September
see
28th, we'll probably do a review on that too.
Yeah, I definitely want to see that one.
And then the another bit of horror news is going along with the Child's Play remake. So it's not going to be a possessed doll. Like, you're not going to have Charles Lee Ray inside a good guy doll. This is more that technology based. So basically it's a smart doll or whatever, robotic doll that's going to learn to adapt. And it's, I guess, more Terminator style, where the doll just gets more and more information. Its AI gets so smart that it learns how to kill people.
And that kind of fits in with today's topics. I mean, AI is kind of a hot topic in the science world, and I think nerds know enough about it. Like, AI is scary, man. It's scary how we're building things that are going to be able to think on their own. And what if this, toy doll has enough AI power to become like a fucking serial killer? Like,
Yeah,
that's it. It's modern creepy now, because this is AI is becoming reality, whether you like it or not. So
I
it
do
is
like,
creepy.
I do like the concept of it, because if you're going to make just another possessed doll, it's probably going to look the same. At that point, make Child's Play 8. Well, you have to do something different. We just ripped on Halloween for not doing anything different. Here they are. They're taking an idea. They're modernizing it. And you're going to call it Child's Play, which is fine. But if you're rebooting it, you have to redo something. So you're kind of redoing the whole concept of it.
True. And we probably touched on this on the remakes and reboots episode, like how you have to make it different now. And should it be remade is the ultimate question too. But if you're going to carry on a franchise like this, you do have to make it modern. Your story's already been told with a possessed doll. And I can agree with you that, with the AI all coming out and everything, like, it's modern. This could possibly happen. That's what makes it scary. To me, this is more realistic than a possessed fucking doll.
Yeah, it's like Teddy Ruxpin,
Yeah.
but he learns how to fucking kill. Like, what would happen? I just think, I actually like the idea. It's something, it's the same but different. I don't want Chucky, because if you're going to do Chucky, just like I said, do Child's Play 8.
So, I don't know. The doll, is it going to look like a Chucky-esque doll, or is it more of a humanoid type doll? I don't know
From what
that
they
information.
said, it was going to be like the My Buddy doll again.
Okay.
Which I really don't like. I wish they would go a totally different route. Make it like a bear, like Ted, but killer.
Instead of smoking weed all the time, he's like, I kill you.
Yeah, like, I just want something totally different. I don't need.
I would kind of like it if it was like, a little boy with his hair parted on the side. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. I'll be more than happy to help. Oh, you want to go play outside? Like, that's kind of creepy, man.
I would have never thought to bring this up, but we're going on the what the dolls look like.
Yeah.
So yesterday, I'm going through my Comic Con haul,
Yeah.
and on the back of the book is a living prayer doll. It's the freakiest looking fucking doll. Google living prayer doll, and you will be so like mesmerized by it. So it's this creepy ass looking doll that sits on its knees, and its hands come together, and it says, "Now I lay me down to sleep." Like, it does that whole thing.
Oh my God, dude.
It's so creepy. The ad scared the shit out of me more than any horror movie I've seen lately. I was like, people bought this. It's from like, late 70s or whatever from the book. Oh, classic. Anyway,
That is crazy, man. Who has that?
freakiest looking thing ever.
I've never seen one.
If you have one in the box, email us. dysfunctionalnerdcast@gmail.com. I will add it to the toy room. I need it.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Send us a
freakier than
picture.
Annabelle or whatever. It's like, damn. They should have used that for the new Chucky movie.
No, I mean, I hope that they do it right. That's all, a brand new kind of direction? And do you want this to spin off into more? Is the ultimate question. Again, if it does good, it's Hollywood, so they probably would.
They will, yeah.
But
I mean, I don't think it really needs a remake, to be honest. I think the original holds up well. But like again, if you're gonna remake it, I think they're doing it justice.
Well, that's what I always ask, man. Does shit have to be remade?
It doesn't have to
Obviously
be, but if it's
not,
good, I'll
but-
be happy it was. You know?
All right. What else we got going on?
So the Purge TV show started.
It
and
did.
we're 2 episodes in, baby. I think it's really good.
Yeah, I'm behind on shit, man. I got to watch that, and I wanted to watch the Mayans too, but that's something else. But the Purge, yeah, man.
It was a lot better so far, anyway, than the last movie.
Dude, I think a lot's better than the last movie.
So basically, the first episode ends with basically the Purge is starting. So that whole first hour is just them trying to get ready for the night. And then it follows 4 different groups of people. So one is a cult where they're sacrificing people to go to the higher gods. And it's kind of like Heaven's Gate, where you're going to release to heaven by getting sacrificed in the Purge. And they just drop these kids off on a bus. And the leader is Fiona Dorff, Brad Dorff's daughter. Keep him with the Chucky theme here. She drops the kids off, and then people just purge them. All right, so then it's obviously the one guy is trying, or the one girl's trying to survive because she no longer wants to be part of the sacrifice.
Okay.
So then the second group is that girl's brother who's trying to find her. He has no idea where she's at. So he's going along in the Purge, driving around, trying to find her, and he gets caught up in all kinds of shit. The third thing is a girl and a guy, they're married, but they had a menage with a third girl who's at this party. And it's like they're at this party, and it's like for the founding fathers.
Okay.
And, they're big supporters.
Right.
So they're throwing all this money. They're going to the party to try to get fundraising to try to help the poor.
Okay.
So something's gonna play out with this whole menage with trois. Somebody's gonna fuck somebody over because the 2 girls are kind of into each other, which is kind of hard to watch. Yeah, they're both good looking too. So and then the husband, something's gonna happen there.
The key thing is, did they show kissing?
They did.
All right.
So
I got to watch this right after this podcast.
love triangles. They always go crazy. So the fourth thing is there's this chick who's like higher up in one, some executive company, and she's getting sexually harassed by the owner of the company. So you can see she hired somebody to help purge that guy. And the whole time she's trying to justify like, oh, I'm under such duress and this guy's such an asshole to me and I can't move up in the company and he's not going to make me partner and all this stuff. So the whole time she doesn't want to do it, but she's trying to justify like, it's my right to purge. I should be able to.
Right.
So those are the 4 things taking place. It kind of interacts, it goes back and forth between scenes of who's doing what. But I think all 4 are pretty interesting right now.
Right.
Where it's going to go, I don't know.
And the second episode, did it focus on one group, 2 groups? Did it show the 4 groups again?
It shows all 4. So thank God it's not like Walking Dead where you
nobody's
go
walking a track for how long?
you like see one group for the entire episode and then you never see them again. I like that it cuts back and forth. So basically each commercial segment is that group. Then it goes to commercial and we'll go to the other group. So by the time you go through, you see them twice. Keeps it moving, keeps it interesting.
Right.
Violence is a little light, but it's on USA. What do you expect?
Yeah, they can't go too crazy.
A lot of it's kind of off camera or it's subjective, like of what you're seeing. It's
kind of wish it was like on FX.
Yeah,
FX would have no problem with the violence.
Yeah.
But I'm all right. I'm game. I gotta catch up on that.
So watch. I really enjoy it.
No, I did want to. I'm just so far behind on everything. But no, that's cool.
And then we brought up Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Well, you brought up Mayan, so this kind of ties the 2 of them together.
Sure.
Ryan Hurst, who played Opie, he's going to be Beta on Walking Dead. So if you don't know who Beta is, he was kind of in the comic. He was like a wrestler, former wrestler, athlete. He was like 6'5", like 300 pounds, just like behemoth. And even Negan tries to fight him. He breaks Lucille over him, and that's kind of like the death of Lucille. And no one can beat this guy just because he's so fucking big. Ryan Hurst isn't really that per se, but at least he looks grungy enough with the long hair and shit.
He's still menacing looking. Like he is,
know.
dude. As the biker on Sons, man, he was one of those guys where I'd be like, if I saw that dude in a bar,
I've met him in person. He's not intimidating, but
no, but not in person is different than a character on a show, man.
he doesn't look intimidating to me.
I don't
Other
know,
than
dude.
he has
I was
long
intimidated
hair
by
and
him
a
on
beard.
Sons, man. I would be more than happy to buy him a beer anytime. Just not so he's not pissed off at me.
But at least it's a well-known actor. He is a good actor.
He
So I
is.
don't have a problem with the casting, and obviously it confirms they're definitely doing Whisperers. I think everyone knew that already.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
and you were talking about the time jump, so it was revealed what the actual time jump is going to be for this season.
Right. I guess they Instagram or something, Twitter. I don't know, one of those social things. So they put like how long The Walking Dead has been going on for. It's like 600 and something days, which is 1.7 years. I think we did the math at work. Then it's like a year and a half time jump after season 8.
Right. So we're essentially 3 years in.
3 years in. How much shit can happen to one group in that period of time? Just the first almost 2 years. You've covered so much. Like, but it just goes to show how unsafe this world is. And you do have to keep moving.
The one thing, I've kind of said it in my head, and I know other people have always brought it up, was like, how do these people still look so good and have teeth? And, like, how's Jerry so fat still? Well, it is only 3 years. But if you do look at the picture they showed side by side of Andrew Lincoln, he's changed a lot in 3 years.
yeah.
Like, the apocalypse has been rough.
Yes, it has.
So it makes it a little bit more realistic. And what I liked is that since the time jump is so short, how do they still have gas? Well, in like 3 years or even a year and a half, because when they do the year and a half time jump, they are going to be horse and buggy at this point.
Yeah, I can see, yeah.
They've pretty much like revealed that's what's going to happen. So a year and a half later, I can believe that there's still gas reserves. There's still enough cars that could start up sitting after a year.
There's still
canned food.
Exactly.
There's still bullets. Like, it makes it a little bit more believable that you can find these resources.
Yeah, there are resources. And I think, too, they mentioned that there are more walkers and living now. I think that was something like years ago that came out. So you don't have as many people that actually need real food. So when you find a cache of food somewhere, canned goods, whatever, canned goods, what, 5 years at least?
Yeah.
3 to 5 years is your average canned goods. So you can have canned goods they're only 3 years in. Another 2 years.
I mean, I wouldn't eat them on day one, but I mean, it is the apocalypse. You got to sacrifice. But
have you ever eaten canned food in your life?
I don't think so, man. I don't think so.
So the apocalypse happens, and like, would you eat the cream corn?
I guess I have to. I mean, you got to do what you got to do to survive. But
God, I hope
to
there's,
do that
I
out of
hope there's a
choice?
zombie apocalypse. I want to see you eat some cream fucking corn.
do that
man.
out of choice, man.
Oh, cream corn, good. So yummy. So,
And then sticking with the Walking Dead shit, Greg Nicotero is designing the Spawn costume for the Spawn movie. So whether you like Walking Dead or not, Greg Nicotero is one of the greatest special effects people of all time.
He is.
Him and like Tom Savini, they're right up there, man. And for him to be involved with it, again, this is another plus for the movie. Joked around about the Jamie Foxx thing being a debacle, which it is. But every other announcement since then has been a positive, and it's like making me overlook the Jamie Foxx.
well, I'm still not sure that Jamie Foxx is going to be in it that much. So,
Let's
hopefully.
pray is not.
Yeah.
But the Jeremy Renner announcement was great.
Yeah.
The Hard R announcement was great. And now you got the Nicotero thing. It's a good deal.
Yeah. I think he's going to do a good job. Be interesting to see what he does. And like, how much of the costume is actually going to be in it? Because he said you're not really even going to see him that much.
Yeah, they're saying it's going to be lurking in the shadows. I really expected more of a CGI thing, but I guess they're going to go practical.
I think...
Which practical is better, man.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Practical's always better.
And as an aside, Swamp Thing was announced.
Yes.
And they said they're doing a practical suit for Swamp Thing, and that's going to be a hard R.
Yes, I'm very excited about that. And the DC streaming thing launched yesterday, which was what, the 15th, 14th, whatever yesterday was, 15th. Not everything's up, of course, but it's out there. If you're a DC fan, let us know. I forgot to subscribe, but I'm waiting for everything to get on it too. Not everything's there, so
Yeah, Titans really they should have launched with that.
yeah.
I think you're
But
you're going to lose a little bit of interest while
No,
people
but
wait.
I think it's going to be pretty decent just because, you see Titans being hard edge. The second little trailer came out on that yesterday, I believe, where Nightwing meets his replacement, Jason Todd, and there's a little joking going on, and it looks fantastic. It just bolsters, I think, the original trailer. It's going to be good. It looks good. It feels good. Swamp Thing sounds excellent, and hopefully better than that cheesy 90s TV show.
Do you think Swamp Thing has constant swamp ass? Is that it?
Maybe he has reverse swamp ass.
He can control it better than anybody else.
Yeah. Or is it one of his defense mechanisms like a skunk? Beware the swamp ass of Swamp Thing. Dun, dun, dun.
So before we get into part 2 here of the Comic Con review, we got to do our plugs.
Absolutely. So email dysfunctionalnerdcast@gmail.com. Always, you can reach us there. We're on Twitter. Twitter handle is @the_Nerdcast, and we've always put up our episodes on there, what we're up to, where we're going, things like that. You can always reach us on Facebook. Just search Dysfunctional Nerdcast. We pop up first because we're the only dysfunctional nerds out there, I think. And again, we're putting stuff up. We're going to be putting up our pictures of our haul from the Comic-Con up there. Let us know what you think about that, what we got. And we're always on your favorite podcast directory. We've hit every podcast directory that I could think of. You do a Google search on us, you'll find us on some podcast directory out there. iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Podbean, of course, which is our awesome host. Pocket Cast. There's so many out there. Subscribe where you can. Leave the 5-star review wherever you can. We appreciate it because that helps us get those awesome interviews and stuff and helps us grow.
And follow us on YouTube. I'm actually going to do a couple toy reviews coming up this week, most likely, if not the following week for sure. But I got the Pop figures. It's going to be the Walgreens Jason exclusive, Amazon Pennywise exclusive, and the Michael Myers FYE exclusive. And my mask just shipped today from Trick or Treat Studios, Leatherface Part 2.
Nice.
So I'll be donning that. So 2 reviews coming up. Follow us on YouTube, Dysfunctional Nerdcast, and give us a review on there as well.
All right. Round 2.
Comic-Con, Keystone Comic Con, baby.
The inaugural Keystone Comic Con Philly.
I loved it.
It was good, man. I really enjoyed it.
And I'm not saying this because they gave us press passes, and we highly thank you for the press passes. It was great.
Thank you, Keystone Comic Con, for the press passes. I think it's great that they're helping out us, and other people out there. So a bunch of people out there with press passes, taking pictures, walking around.
I'll start this off. This show was so much better than Wizard World, which I think is going to be their main competition. It's hosted in the same convention center. And I thought it was better than Greater Philadelphia Comic Con.
I agree. And
there's obviously no comparison to the local shows.
No, none at all. The thing I think we're both going to agree on, there were actually comic books at this Comic Con.
Hard to believe.
I know. I've been waiting.
It's like blasphemy.
Oh, yeah. How dare you not have swords? One sword dealer, and was enough away from the comic
I didn't
books.
even see it, to be honest.
I actually didn't see it the first 2 times I walked around. Just happened to see it. I was like, meh. That was it. But there were comic books, man. Comic books. I can't believe it. The Wizard World, when I went, 4 or 5 years ago, I think there was 2 or 3 comic book dealers.
There was over 20 dealers, strictly comics.
Yeah, this show.
I think they had
it
had 33 listed on there, but some of them were like CGC, not really a comic dealer.
Right.
It's comic oriented, but there was at least over 20.
Yeah, if you wanted to buy comics, this was the place, man. And Friday was the day to go to do your shopping. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, so before we get into that, I mean, as far as the dealers, prices were set to move. And we talked about this on other reviews that they want top dollar and they can get stuff cheaper on eBay. I know the prices were priced to move because I saw 4 other dealers that I know. They were all there buying. They're not going to buy at top dollar if they have to resell it. So they're getting good value on their books. And You know, I did my homework when I got home. I kind of inventoried everything. I spent $210. When I looked at eBay sold listings, I came away with $1,211 worth of books.
Wow.
So I got some major keys. I don't know major, but good keys out of this. Some of this stuff was $1. I got a couple wall books, but they were like half off. I got a first appearance Doomsday for $2.
Nice.
I got a first full appearance Killer Croc for $1. I got a first appearance Livewire. I got 2 first appearance Stingers. I got a first appearance Her. I got an Invaders #1. I got a bunch of Adam Hughes shit, which is like super hot. I got really rare variants of the Justice League America one. I got a Catwoman 45, Zatanna. I got his G.I. Joe. Some really hot books, and a lot of them were $1. I got the entire Black Panther first run, besides issue #1, for $2 a piece.
Wow.
They're all $30 to $40 books. So there was deals to be had easily. I thought the wall books were all pretty much half of what they're going for. So again, you can't really pass them up.
So how does this show? Why are these dealers so much less than they're going to other shows? They have to be. This isn't the only show they go to. So why at this show are they?
I don't know
so
if it
much
was
less?
because it was
Is it-
inaugural. Like they're just trying to really draw in a crowd to get repeat people next year. I don't know.
I don't know either, because you don't want to lose money when you can obviously sell somewhere else for more. Not that they're losing money at all, otherwise we'd be selling it for their lower price. But that's still amazing though. These are well-known dealers. Like I looked up some of them online afterwards, and they got shops. They're always traveling, going to shows. But hey, you're gonna sell them for that. We're gonna buy them.
I mean, the one we'll mention them, Zap Comics.
Yeah, Zap Comics. That's where I spent all my money.
Dollar bin stuff, but I pulled a lot of $20, $30 books out of there. And there was dollar stuff in there I got for my runs to complete them. Mm-hmm. But still, I mean, if you just search through, you're going to find $20 and $30 books.
Oh yeah, that's where I spent all my money, and I got a lot of Flash there. I must have got 15, 20 books, and they all ranged from, $5 to $10 a piece for $1. And they're older Flash Volume 1 that I didn't have. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah, his stuff went from like 70s on up.
Yeah, which is
so you
great.
Could get some older stuff.
It wasn't that 90s crap. It wasn't modern shit that nobody wants. It's good classic stuff.
Yeah, I pulled some like older, I got a few Star Wars out of there, and then I got a bunch of Iron Man, Captain America I needed for my runs, but they're all like $15, $20 books that I don't really want to pay that for. And these aren't beat to shit books. We mentioned like that local show in Bumfuckville.
Yeah.
You know, where the guy's selling books for $5 and they're beat to fuck. So you're thinking, well, $1 book, how good a condition is it? They were all like 8.0 and higher.
Yeah.
He had some beat ones, but those were the ones I left.
Yeah. They were bagged. They weren't boarded, but they were bagged, and they were in decent shape.
In an alphabetical and numerical order.
Yeah. Oh, who does that? Thank you, Zap.
Yeah,
Man,
the amount of time it must have taken that guy. But most of the books were in really nice condition.
They were.
Especially for $1.
They were. And I was very happy. Like, you pointed that out to me, because we kind of went our separate ways, and we'll get into that. But you're like, dude, you got to, this is the one place you're going to go. You're going to find shit here. And I did, man. Some Green Lanterns in there, $10, $15 books. I got a Man-Thing #7.
I got a Man-Thing right here.
Yeah, you wish. A lot of cool things. What else did I get? Marvel Team Up, Spider-Man and Ant-Man. That was good.
And, the price of books really, I talk at other shows too. You can really never find anything that's either $1 or not $1 million. Here, the price range went from $1 to the most expensive book I saw was the first Wonder Woman for $30,000. It's like a 1.8 grade.
We contemplated that. We're like, how can we pool our money together? And
once that Patreon money rolls in, we'll get it. But there was a lot of like $5, $10, $20 books. I saw a lot of booths had actual boxes. Like these are all $10 like variants or, semi-key issues, which was great. You could get something for every price range.
Right.
And a lot of shows don't offer that.
No.
Because I get tired of just like, here's 50 cents Drek.
Yeah.
I don't fucking
shit.
want it.
That's the local show. That belongs in a local show. And like you said, they did an excellent job. I don't know if it was Keystone Comic Con is that really vetted the dealers, or these dealers are like, hey, we're going to come down. And it worked, man. I had no issue finding places there to buy.
And I guess one thing that people always kind of want to know about cons is what's hot. Like, what are the hot books that everybody seems to have? So that way you can keep your eye out, locally, what to grab. Without a doubt, Venom is just exploding. And I know the movie's coming out soon, so there's a lot of movie hype with it. Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of his keys are undervalued, and they're taking off. I saw an Amazing Spidey 300, which is like technically his first. It was $2,700. It's like a couple $100 book a year or two ago. But all his mini series and stuff, they're just taking off. And then I saw a lot of Batgirl stuff, a lot of Cassandra Cain. She's really taken off. I didn't see too much Miss Marvel, which was surprising.
I think that is kind of surprising, but I think with the Batgirl, with the announcement of her coming on, the TV shows, and possible movie and everything moving in that direction, maybe and everybody loves Batgirl. She's kind of like that hidden hero, I think. So we'll see.
And Thanos and Deadpool, still super hot. I mean, everyone had that on their wall.
It's like almost annoying though to me at this point. I'm sick and tired of fucking seeing everything Deadpool and a stupid Infinity Gauntlet. I'm just tired of it.
It's what's hot. It's what's selling.
I know, but
I mean, other than that, you're gonna have your classic books, the Adam Hughes stuff with the big tits on it. They always sell on a wall. But Harley, not so much. He kind of faded away. I didn't see much Harley stuff. Guardians of the Galaxy kind of off to the side.
And you brought up Walking Dead books. Where were they?
You can't find them. No one. I don't think anyone cares.
They were so hot, and like I said, in the TV show, that's where you're going to see that fluctuation. It's not popular.
Yeah, I didn't.
And it's not holding the value, I don't think.
I didn't see any like first Negans were hot for a long time.
Yeah.
I didn't see any like first Governors, first Michonnes. I didn't see Walking Dead issues like 1 through 10. The stuff that you would normally see on a wall, either people have sold it and they don't want it, or they just don't put it out, or that's not what they're advertising as their key stuff.
Yeah, you would always see that. I don't know. I honestly think the popularity of the show is affecting that book.
Oh, 100%. No doubt about it.
And we talked about like Venom. Like I asked you on the ride home, I was like, well, if the Venom movie fucking sucks, which I think has a really good potential to, what's that do to the value of the book? The books are going up. Does that the movie sucks? People are not going to go, does it bring that book value back down?
They'll come down a little bit. But his books were so undervalued for the longest time that it really did need a market adjustment. And I think we're close to the market adjustment now.
So it deserves it.
It does.
I mean, he is so popular, Anyway, everybody knows about Venom. Like,
he's kind of like the main character of Marvel's villain list. I mean, he's right up there, dude. Like, he's the most badass. Like Dr. Octopus, he's like a fat, grumpy guy. Like, he's not really cool. Venom's like their coolest villain.
Yeah, I can see that.
And Spider-Man's by far the most popular hero they have. Like, he's their number one merchandising and the comics and stuff. So he's Spider-Man's main villain. So it makes sense that he would be most popular.
Sure. When you talk like pop culture wise, even if you're not reading Spider-Man, you know who Venom is. Not even because of any movie or anything. You just know who Venom is. It's like kids don't see horror movies, but they know who Freddy is. They know who Jason is. They know who Michael is. That they know who Venom is. My kid knew who Venom was before he knew or even read about him or saw him in anything. He knew who Venom was. I'm like, how do you even know that?
So I think that's why it needed a market adjustment. It's going to take off with the movie announcement, obviously, but so the other stuff that they had there, a lot of pops.
Yeah, pops.
But what I did like about this show and how it was organized, all of the comic dealers were together. They were down like an entire row. So if you just want comics, you don't have to like shift through, oh, here's an elf table and here's a sword table and here's, 10 pops and here's an actual t-shirt stand. No, it was like, you want comics, you just go down the aisle and shop comics. And the pops were pretty much all together, action figure dealers. But there's not too many action figures that aren't pops at this point.
No. And there was like a little like splattering of like comic book dealers here and there in like a corner or two. But it was like you said, all in one area, which helps the con goer so much. Not every con goer is a comic book collector, unfortunately, these days, or fortunately for us. But they go for pops, they go for figures. Well, go to that section. You're right, and then we're gonna go to the comic book section. You want your knickknacks and shit? Go to that stupid section.
Yep. And so I thought it was really well organized. I don't know how many pops you need at a show, but hey, again, if that's what it is, the number one selling thing. So
yeah, and
offer it to people. But how many different pops can you offer? Like they were pretty much all the same.
They were, and there was very few stands that specialized in one or two, maybe three kind of genres of pops, I guess. But they were more exclusives and stuff, so it worked. But we talked about it too. Comic book dealers. You can go to 5 different comic book dealers and get 5 different things. You go to 5 different pop dealers, you're seeing the 5 same things.
Yeah, and I know people are like, oh, it's a comic book. What's different? Well, even if you have the same book, it could be a totally different grade and price.
Right. But even so, dealers are not going to have maybe these 10 issues that you need. That dealer might not have it, but the next one will.
Absolutely.
You could go to a pop stand because you need whatever pop from whatever TV show you're watching, and you can go to 5 different stands and get them.
Yeah, they were pretty much all the same.
Yeah. So, pop figures. That might be my new sword thing.
I like pops, but
I like them, but it's just like, it's almost like, when's the overkill going to come on that? Is it? I don't know.
I give it like another year.
Like, it's just going to the bubble's got to burst. Everything has a bubble. Every single thing has a bubble.
So, going along with like the organization thing, the aisle space was phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
I could actually get in booths and like look and search through long boxes without my back being up against the aisle where people are just running me over. So
yeah.
The aisles were twice as wide as what Wizard World offers. You could actually move around, which was fantastic.
That's a big plus. Well, you're not walking into somebody. Someone's not walking into you. Plenty of room for people in cosplay.
Your backpack's not getting hit nonstop while you wear it.
Exactly, because us nerds wear backpacks.
The other thing that was cool, and I never seen it at a show, is they had like a soda and beer vendor actually walking the aisles with like a cart and yelling. It was like a football game. Like, got your beer here, got your soda here. And I'm like, this is awesome. You can just order a beer. You don't even have to get out of line if you're waiting or like stop digging through books. The guy just brings the beer to you.
I missed that. I could have used that.
It was awesome.
I did see.
I know they sell soda and beer obviously at shows, but I've never seen it walk down the aisles with it. And I was like, this is brilliant. Now, if the aisles were cramped and crowded, you couldn't even get the fucking cart down.
Yeah.
But in this case, it worked awesomely. It was just cool.
Yeah. It was a really good setup. I mean, I don't know if it's because it really wasn't. I mean, it was a decent sized con. It really was. I mean, it filled up. They had that whole floor area, right? Rented out.
If you've been to Wizard World, it's the whole upper area of Wizard World. Not as many dealers, but again, you don't have the bullshit dealers.
Exactly.
There was no bath fitters.
No bath fitters, no gutter guards.
And we were going to ask a bath fitter rep, have you ever sold anything? But they weren't there to find. So there was none of the bullshit marshmallows. There was none of the... There's one t-shirt stand, which is enough. Because again, they sell the same t-shirts. You want a shirt? Go to that stand. Perfect.
And I hope...
You don't need 20 of them.
I hope that was the organizers of the event saying, we only need one. Because that stand takes up a huge area. It really does. They got them like 15 feet up in the air. It's a huge thing. You actually walk into it. It's like a store in and of itself. You only need one of those. You only need one sword dealer. They had 2 Lego minifig dealers. That's all you need.
I just like that there wasn't like a leather maker there and to buy like pouches, and there wasn't
gauntlets and I don't know. Yeah.
A diary journal maker and like all this stuff that's not even, I don't even know if it's pop culture.
Did you see the flasks?
No, I didn't see that.
They were, if they weren't so damn expensive, I would have bought one. So he takes like parchment paper and wraps them around like 4 ounce, 6 ounce, and 12 ounce flasks or something. And they're like nice, like stainless steel looking flasks. But he wrapped around like, the Imperial symbol, the Rebel symbol, Darth Vader, like scenes from movies, like, you know, logos of comic book characters, but it's on this old parchment paper and he seals it in and everything. Like it almost looks like it's a leathery type, you know, parchment type paper stuff. It was really cool, very expensive, but it was kind of oddball, but
yeah,
I was
it's
like,
not really
that's
Comic-Con.
fucking different. But did it belong there? Maybe not necessarily, but it was different.
But
Never
at
seen
least
that
there was
before.
one. And
Yes,
a lot of
there's
these other
one.
shows you go, there's 10 of those.
There was nobody making beaded jewelry and like melting those plastic
Yeah.
things. No, there was nothing like that.
The
There was,
freaking popcorn trivia game people weren't there, thank God.
yeah, like it was, and you know, you have your Sprint and T-Mobile. They were
Off to
away.
themselves.
They were off to the side. They were away from everything. You want to do that? Fine. I don't want to walk down the freaking aisle and, oh, I'm looking at books, bath fitters, books, you know.
Or have the T-Mobile guy tap you on the shoulder while you're digging. Hey, do you want to sign up? No, I don't.
T-Mobile sucks. Okay.
Like, go back to your booth.
Yeah. No. This worked. I thought the flow of everything was good. Where the you know, the celebrity guests were, they were on like an L shape on the outskirts and it was far away. So lines from them, if they had a long line, it was so deep, like their corrals, for lack of a better term, to get to the celebrity artist were so deep, you could fit and snake a line through in that section that would never have interfered with any other congoer walking around, which was great, you know. And they had like, you know, the 501st was there, the Rebels were there, the droid builders from Star Wars. They all had their
Getting
own,
in their own area.
they had their own area. So, you know, you're a Star Wars fan, you're like, you could spend, you know, whatever time you wanted, and it was all together. That's great. Love that. Love the setup of this con.
And the DC Universe was there. So they were giving out their Batman Day books. So we got those a day early, which was great.
that was
Didn't have to go to the
very
local
good.
shows or shops to get those. But they were selling the exclusive gold foil books. So I got a couple of those, $15 each. That was a big draw, you know, to get people into the con. But overall, there was so many good deals. I really enjoyed the shopping experience of it. You know, I'll 100% go back. I'd tell any of, you know, the listeners here, definitely go check it out next year.
Oh, absolutely.
Thought it was great. You're going to have a better time than Wizard World. And I think the
I agree.
dealers, I think their booths were represented well. You could actually get in to look at them. I know I've been to New York where you can't even get into the booth. It's so overly crowded and the aisles are so tight. Dealers can't sell anything because you can't even get in to look at it.
Yeah, and I heard
You don't have that issue.
heard one of the dealers, and they were talking with another dealer, and that they knew, and like, oh, you going to New York? He's like, yeah. He goes, I don't know, it's so busy there. He goes, he actually liked this con. It wasn't super busy when we went, but it was busy enough, and he saw the potential. He's like, I like this because it's controllable. He's like, New York, it's like you're frantic, you're always running around. He goes, it's stressful, you know, you can't get into booths, you know, it's just, you know.
The other thing that I kind of forgot and want to bring up, you know, you're talking about the franticness of it. What was great about this is they sent us our passes before we even got to the show.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
So it seemed like they sent all the VIP passes, like 3-day passes. If you ordered them, you got them. You didn't have to sign in, wait in line, stand there, try to register, get your pass, which takes time. Now you have all this backlog of people trying to get in. There was 1,000,001 volunteers there.
Right.
And then security-wise, to get in, you know, you had to go through, you know, the metal detectors to get through. It was kind of like at the airport. You put your keys in, wallet in the thing.
Backpack, they look to your backpack.
Look through the bag. So it was like extremely organized. We didn't have to wait long to get through those lines. And then we didn't have to wait at all to register. We just walked right in.
Yeah. And we just had our lanyards out, and nobody really checked that. But you obviously, if you're walking around without something, you know you didn't pay. So, but going through the security, they had like 5-6 lines for you to go through. It flowed, man. It just put your stuff on, like you said, go. Like nothing was bottlenecked at all.
Bravo to the organizers.
Yeah.
Maybe Monster Mania should take a clue on how to like run lines and make things move. You know, just saying.
Night and day, huh?
But we won't get away with all praises here. We'll give some constructive criticism of what could maybe be improved upon.
Yeah, because when we first got in, it was a little surreal. I don't know. Like, So they had like this, we got there, 50 minutes before it opened.
Yep.
So we're standing there in line, and they put us next to this full like rock stage, right? It's a full stage, lighting, PA system. They got the sound guys out, and there's a DJ spinning some weird remix tunes that I had no clue what the fuck they were, but they were, to me, I'm a rock and roll kind of guy, so it was way out there for me. I hated it. And they got another dude running around I don't even know what fucking suit he was wearing. It was it lightning bolts or something?
No, it was like the
purple?
Galaxy.
Oh, the Galaxy. Okay. I couldn't even tell. It's just like, so it's like kind of dimly lit. It was so loud. And here you have people standing for 45 minutes to an hour listening to the DJ and this MC type guy
talk back and forth
and like cracking jokes that only they seem to find were funny. And I'm sorry, that did not work for me. I don't think it worked for you, man.
No, and like the crowd was so not into it. It was just like everything they would say, they would try to get the crowd like really hyped up, and like nobody would clap or applause. No. It was just like, okay, can you just stop talking? Like, you're overly loud. The stuff you're saying is nonsense. It's not funny.
And let's think about it too. Like there was,
and I'm sorry, the guy was borderline racist. I don't care what anybody says. This shit he was saying was just like ridiculous.
Yeah, some of the stuff was
it's just not needed.
Yeah,
at all. But regardless, it was just too loud. I get what they're trying to do is like bring like an atmosphere that we want to have fun. We're trying to get some energy into this place. But it's also 11 in the morning on a Friday. There was next to no crowd there. It's just like, imagine like that bar where the band's playing in front of 5 people and they're trying to like act like they're performing in a sold out arena. It doesn't work. You got to know your audience and the feel, and they didn't know that.
Right. I've been in bands and I've played in front of 5 people in a bar, not because my band sucked, but maybe it's just like that. Sometimes that happens, and you're just like, you got to feed off the energy, and I don't know how these guys did it. Like, props to them, but it was super annoying. And they were so freaking loud. Like, it just echoed off the walls, and it just wasn't funny. And like, how hyped up do you have to be for this? Like, it's like, let's hear you scream kind of thing. And I'm like, I'm not at a fucking show, man. All right. I'm not watching my favorite band. I know people go to see DJs and they think DJs are musicians, but it's like, yeah, get your hands in the air. Woo, 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 woo.
I did that.
What the fuck? No, that doesn't belong there.
I did that when I found that Killer Croc book. But yeah, I totally agree. It's just,
maybe at 8:00 at night, if you were still doing a show, that's fine. Maybe, people were taking advantage of the beer cart,
right? They're tanked up and like ready to go. And the guy's playing like LMFAO shots at like 11. And
I don't even know what that is.
I'm not drinking shots. I don't like. It's not a good song unless I'm taking shots. I'm like, are you handing them out? Because I'll get into it real quick. But as a promoter, they didn't spare any expense. I'm sure this cost a pretty penny to put this stage on, to hire these people. I mean, they had the whole sound booth and everything there. It was like very professionally done.
Sure, that's not the issue. The issue is it just didn't belong.
No, and it wasn't needed. Like, save your money there and put it into something else. I don't know, rent a better space or bring in maybe a bigger celebrity guest list, which is kind of the second issue I had.
Yeah.
It wasn't the greatest of celebrity lists.
No, but as far as like where that stage was, they could have used that as your registration area or something, and brought everybody in. And I think if people saw more people, it would have really helped, like with the
they probably didn't
mood
need the downstairs rental space to hold people.
Save your money, guys. Because I honestly want the show to come back next year, and we're there. And I would think next year they're gonna, build on it. I hope that it stays almost the same size, though. I don't want to see it get much bigger. But we're gonna get into the celebrity list. Work on that. Put your money into that, and I think you're gonna have an awesome con for years to come. really. And you're going to put up a lot of good competition for Wizard World, which Wizard World now, honestly, they're just running on their fucking name.
Honestly,
they're running on their name, and it's just Celebrity Fest.
That's all I got to say. So much better than Wizard World. So much better. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. So the celebrity list, man, the celebrities that were there.
We wanted Andy Serkis. We mentioned him on the podcast, promoting it.
So sad he had
to cancel.
Scheduling conflict.
So that's not a fault of the show.
No,
I mean, he had
not at all.
Whatever, probably filming the deal.
Yeah.
But the rest of the guest list wasn't the greatest.
It really wasn't.
I mean, we love The Office. We wanted to meet them, but they weren't out for much of the time.
Yeah, I think the guy who played Stanley was the only one that I saw out. But even so, like, maybe probably it was the day that we went. Everybody was later on in the day, like 5 o'clock.
But like you mentioned, I mean, we like The Office, but it's not necessarily comic bookish or, you know. So I think as crowds, I don't know how much of a crossover you're going to get where people are like, I have to go to Keystone. The Office is there. I don't think you're going to get people to come just for that.
Yeah. And if you're going to, like, that's my whole thing about comic cons. Okay, it's a comic convention, comic book convention. Keep it more comic book related or something that has crossed over to the comic book world. And Office did not cross over to the comic book world. It's nerdy, sure. It's very popular, absolutely. Everybody still talks about the show. I rewatch it all the time on Netflix. I throw an episode on because it's fucking hilarious. And being that we work in an office, we can relate to 99% of the shit that happens on that show, and anybody can who works in that environment. I get that part. I don't think that was the best reunion to have there.
I know they're semi-local, Scranton to Philadelphia, but still, it's just,
But, put a show on up in Scranton and have them up there. Some of the other people that were there, Bam Margera was there, and he's a local boy. I could see that, He's very popular in the Philly area, Westchester guy. I'm trying to think who else was there. Big Bird. Why is Big Bird, Carol Spinney, at everything?
People love him. I don't know.
I mean, he's always there. I didn't see him at all. I think one of the most modern that was there was the guy who plays Jimmy Olsen on Supergirl. Makad Brooks. I don't know if I pronounced his name correctly, but he was there. And that's a very popular show. But that was like the most modern, like actively right now doing something. That's Kristen Bauer from True Blood and Once Upon a Time. That was like the next booth over.
Anna Paquin, X-Men and True Blood.
Yeah.
So that's a big one.
Yeah, that's
the type of people you need to bring in, though. And Andy Serkis would have fit that. He would have obviously been the headliner.
Right. And Anna Paquin, I mean, she's been in an X-Men movie. So there's your crossover. Right? True Blood, very popular. So that's what I'm saying. You need a kind of crossover thing, So, I mean, the celebrity list, it would have drawn some people. And it's almost like if you were there, you're kind of like, oh, I do like The Office. Maybe I'll go see that person.
I do want to say, from my perspective, I liked this show that it wasn't a celebrity show.
Yes.
Because I don't want to go to a Comic-Con for that. I go to like a chiller theater for that type of thing.
Sure.
I appreciated being able to buy the books. I'm just presenting this as a promoter side, how they can keep this show going, make a ton of money, bringing crowds. You do have to, unfortunately, bring those type of guests in.
Right.
But if you're going to do the guests, just please bring back the same type of vendors. That way it's the best of both worlds.
Absolutely. That's a good point to make. A very good point. And while you were shopping for, I don't know, 2 hours or so, I was waiting in line for 2 hours and waiting to see Ray Park, who played Darth Maul in Phantom Menace and reprised that role in Solo, Star Wars story. So I walked around because I was going to say, hey, who from the Office is there? I'll try to interview him. Only the guy who plays Stanley was out. And I was like, you know what? Ray Park, his line is not long. Let me go hit that up first. That's who I really want to try to talk to. Unfortunately, his line was the only line that had a technical issue. You could either prepay for your autograph or you could pay cash if that line took cash. Not all lines took cash, apparently. So And his line, the scanner was not working for people who prepaid. Well, maybe you could have refunded them and we all could have paid cash. Maybe that would have made sense. I don't know. But he was like an hour late coming out because of that. Not Ray Park's fault at all, you know. There were so many people in line that had to prepay. So it was like, oh, you know. Met some really cool people in line. Met 2 tattoo artists, one from San Francisco, one from Florida, that are licensed or approved through Lucasfilm to do the Star Wars tattoos. They go to Celebration. They do the tattoos. They're really cool guys in line there. So it was fun talking to people. But finally, he comes out. And Ray Park he's a really cool dude. Very mellow, down to earth. You've met him before.
I got him a few years ago in New York.
Yeah, I mean, he seems like a very, very, not seems, he is very friendly guy, outgoing, gracious, and really connects with the fans. And he takes the time out. Now, the line wasn't super long, but still, he takes the time out to shake your hand, to talk to you. He asks you questions, you know, things like that. Like, I pulled out a deluxe Darth Maul. You push a button on his back, he moves the lightsaber. You can put him on another lightsaber. He trolls around. It's a bigger action figure, you know, carded figure. Took that out of my backpack, and he's like, wow, this is like in perfect condition. When did you get this? I go, I don't know. When did the movie come out? And he's like, wow, you kept that in that good condition. I said, absolutely. You know, it's my collection, you know. So I asked him, hey, I know you were late coming out. You got a line here. I said, but, you know, I wonder if I could get a couple of minutes of your time to talk to you for the podcast. And he goes, you know what? Solo comes out today on digital. Sure. Why not? But let me get the line down a little bit. You know, if you want to hang out a little bit, I'll talk to you. So sure. It was like another hour before that line went down. And I walked around a little bit, came back, and sure enough, he took 15 minutes to talk to us, which I'm very grateful for. He's a really cool dude. Got to ask him a couple questions about how he felt getting the role again. You know, talked about getting the role again. You know, what he's been up to. You know, maybe some future things. You know, what he thinks. But all around, really cool guy to talk to, as you know. So, got a little 15 minutes here about me talking to Ray Park. So it's been a good day for you so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw you taking the time to talk to every fan that came through the line, and that's awesome. It's really, you know, important to us as fans that, you know, you do take that time to chit chat a little.
That's what I do. I get told off. I get like, Ray, hurry up! Come move it along. You got to move it along, and I can't, you know, because I like to talk to everyone. I like to. If we're running out of time, I'll go down the line and say to everyone, look, guys, I'm really sorry, but I've been told we're running out of time, and I'd like to see, so I'm going to sort of speed it up a little bit. You know, I'm not being rude, but my last few shows I was at, because I hadn't been back to the UK in some time, people said they were waiting an hour to 2 hours to see me. That's crazy. And it's you know, I feel very lucky and humbled, you know, for you to wait. It's a long time, stand on your feet and wait.
Absolutely.
To get an autograph. But so I want you to walk away with an experience, you know, a good time, and you know, it was worth it, you know.
And the fans do appreciate it. I see everything online and how gracious you've been over the years. It's comes across, and we're very thankful that you do take the time to do these shows and everything. So
I'm a fan too. You know, there's only been one bad incident, and that was twice since when I come to Philly, and it was the guys at the airport. You know, and they were there this time for me as well.
Wait, were they waiting for you?
Yeah, they were just, you know. But anyway, it's just the way, you know. I feel very lucky to be doing what I'm doing, and I get asked to come to shows and travel and do. The worst part is traveling.
Right.
Being at the show is the best part. You never want to leave. I never want to get on a plane and go back home. I like to stay. It's nice to be at the show. But it's the whole, you know, getting on a plane and you just want to get there, you know?
Right. Awesome. So we talked a little bit when I was in line. The Solo came out today, the 14th, on digital, and it comes out September 25th, Blu-ray and everything else. I'm excited to see it again. I thought it was a fantastic movie. I loved it. And the surprise at the end was with you as Darth Maul, or Maul, it was one of those shocking moments, the shocking Star Wars moments where you were actually like, oh, and kind of curious. And I read a little bit about it, like how you got the call to come back. And were you surprised that they wanted to bring that character back?
I was surprised when I got the call because Lynn Hale from Lucasfilm, who I've known for many years from the beginning, I had two numbers at the time. One was personal and one was for work. And my work number didn't work overseas, and we were in Guatemala for a show, a Comic Con, and we just arrived. And I got him on the Wi-Fi. I had an email like, Ray, can you get in touch with me? And then I kind of picked up a voicemail from her, Ray, when you get a chance, give me a call. So I thought it had something to do with an appearance, or I didn't think it had anything to do with being asked to come back as Darth Maul. So I said, look, Lynn, with the promoters, we're in Guatemala, we're about to go to dinner. Do you mind if I call you back in an hour? Is it important? She said, no, go to dinner, and on the email, and call me back when you get back in. And my wife was saying to me, you call, you never know, it could be in. I said, no, it's most probably something to do with a convention or being here in Guatemala. And then so when I called her, and the first thing she says, she goes, Ray, so I've got something to ask you, and it's a big secret. Can you keep a secret? And I said, yes. And the hair started tingling. I said, yeah.
Did you anticipate what she was going to ask?
Yeah, I was like, what are they asking? And she said, so they want to bring your character back. They want you to be Darth Maul again in Solo. Do you want to do it? I mean, of course. You want to say there's a bear shit in the woods, And I was like, yes, of course. I said, well, do you want me? Okay. I said, we've just arrived in Guatemala. Do you want me to leave now? Should I get on the plane now? Do you need me now? Like,
you're like ready to go, right? You're like, get me on the plane. I want to do it.
Do you want me to go now? And I was like, but what I was thinking is, oh no, all the fans that are looking forward to seeing me in the next day or so, I'm going to feel really bad because I'm going to have to cancel. And she said, no. They just want to know if you still want to do it. And I said, of course. And and she said, okay, you're going to get a call from the executive producer, Simon Emmanuel, and give him and I said, here's all my numbers. I gave her, and I said, here's where we're staying, here's the room number. If you need me, I'll do it. I'll come back. I'll do it now. And I said, let them know I'll shave my hair again. She goes, they'll be happy about that. And I said, but she said, remember, Ray, it's a secret. You can't tell anyone. This is a secret because if anyone finds out, it will just change everything. I said, of course I'll keep a secret. Of course, I said, but can I tell my wife? She goes, you can't tell your wife.
Oh boy.
So I got off the phone, and my wife's standing there. And she's like, so, and I'm like, so you're thinking, you never know, the universe, yeah. So I said, so remember 20 years ago when I shaved my hair? That's what I'm. Without saying it, that's kind of gestured.
Without saying it, but you did.
Yeah. And she goes, oh, okay. And so didn't tell my kids, but I was excited. I opened a beer and it was like, yeah. I couldn't wait. I couldn't. So I couldn't wait to get back to LA to start training really hard.
Right. And as far as like the training, I mean, you're still in great physical shape, I think. And it seeing you now and in the pictures that have come out, like the full length pictures, I love that with the robotic legs and everything. I mean, you stayed in top shape, and that's amazing and something to be commended for.
Thank you. And I had a hip problem at the time. I needed a hip replacement. Before that, And so all of my training was to do with my hip. And so I didn't think I was going to be asked to come back and be Darth Maul again, but I was training in a different way. And so I kind of wasn't putting myself out there for work as much because I couldn't kick and do stuff. So I was conditioning in a different way, and I was documenting it, and I was putting it on Instagram. And so one day I'll let everyone know, hey, all that stuff that I was doing with a bad hip, and also I wanted to be as fit as possible before surgery, because I wanted to go in there super fit, super cleansed, and I cancelled it a few times, and because I got scared, I didn't want to. I thought new technology would come out, and so I trained as hard as I could. And I asked a producer, I said, do I need to do any action? Because that would have taken me into a different mindset. And he goes, no, it's just dialogue, Ray. You're just going to be sitting there. And I would text him at 3 a.m. my time, but he's in London. And he's like, Ray, I love that you're training really hard. Get to bed.
And once you did get the call, like, you went right back to your training. Like, did you? I mean, you just trained differently then.
Yeah,
for that.
I was training really hard anyway,
right.
But there was a different passion. There was a different, I knew I wanted to try. Maul had gone through so much over the 20 years through Clone Wars, and so I knew it was that time frame, and so I wanted to try and, of course, he would have changed himself,
right.
And so, and I've changed. I was 22 when I played him. I was really lean. And now I'm 44 and I'm 200 pounds, but I got down to 183 pounds playing Maul, and I was back into a size 30 jeans. I was 29, 30. It was awesome. I really wanted to be in the best shape I could. So when I'm there, that's my preparation. Whenever I play any roles, I train it.
You train specifically for that role and what you need to portray in that role.
Yeah, and sometimes my ideas, I'll be thinking about something, and ideas will come through my physical side. And I enjoyed playing Maul again. It was one of those. Back then, it was doing it. It was about the action and being a silent assassin. Now he had some real meat.
Right, after everything he went through, and
I really enjoyed it. Of course, my confidence is 20 years of playing around with acting. Walking on set, I knew exactly. I wasn't nervous. I was like, this is what I'm doing.
And you see him now, like, you acted more in this role, like you said, rather than the action. Now, I don't expect you to say anything as far as future goes, but if you did get the call again, are you hands down in for it to play Maul again?
What do you think, man? Come on, of course.
I mean, I hope that they continue this storyline, because it was such a tease and everything, and I'm like, oh, this is so great. And, I followed Maul's story all throughout, and to see him come back like this, I need more Maul, on film, and whether they do it in the movies or the streaming service, I hope that they do give you that call and, finish off the story.
I hope so, and I hope they ask me back. I hope I hope they don't change it in a way where it goes in a different direction. But I've always said, I've been asked for years, would you do it? And I said, of course, I would do it for free. I wouldn't be going, I want this much money. And that's my whole thing was, as long as it's me, I want to do it, and I would love to do it, and with Sam doing the voice, I'm a better actor, I think, than I was back when I was 22, because that was my first acting gig, but Maul has been with me all my life, so it's even when I was posing for the stills you see, it's different poses, because I remember doing the photo shoot and I went into the old Maul and I went, no, I wouldn't do that. It didn't feel right. So it's that character's in me. It's hard to explain. It's part of me.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, and it seems like out of all the other characters, like Snake Eyes and Toad and everybody else that you've done, is this the one character you've really identified with and has become a part of you?
Yeah, it is. It's a part, you know, it's a part of me, you know. Not like in a sense of, I spin around and do stuff with a lightsaber and I'll get straight into that Darth Maul pose, you know. And if they ask me back with that new lightsaber that I had in Solo, I have so many ideas on which I could use with that, and I'm sure I have a great team of people working with me. But I just hope they ask. I hope we do more.
I hope so too. I really do. I mean,
you know, now it's like, okay, we've done it. Like I'm always very careful about, you know, like what I post. I don't want to post too much on, you know, like give too much away. You know, I'd never give a secret away, but it's just like I would never want him to think, you know, like I'm training even harder now, you know, like, and so it's, I want to do it. I would love to do it. I just want that call again, you know.
Well, I hope you do get the call again, and I will be right there in the theater opening night to see it. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thank you.
And everything you've done, and it's great what you do for the
Fingers
fans. Oh, fingers, toes, everything, man.
Yeah.
You're coming back. I know
I
it.
hope so, man. I hope so.
Take care.
You too, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you. So thanks, Ray, for taking the time to talk to me there. And that's what I was doing for 2 hours while this guy was shopping for books.
That's right.
And while I'm talking to Ray, this is when this guy decides to text me and say, "Where the fuck are you?"
It was hours. I'm like
Yeah.
half done. I'm getting hungry. I want my sandwich.
Yeah, the infamous pork sandwich at the Reading Market that he had to take me to, which was fucking awesome.
Dude, Reading Terminal. Don't buy any food at the convention, obviously.
No,
convention food's...
You don't need a $10 hot dog on a roller.
Go to Reading Terminal. What is it, Denichi's?
Danico's?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. My buddy Brownie, shout out. He hooked me on this place. Best sandwich you'll ever eat.
Oh,
and it lived up, right? I was telling Josh about it for like a week.
Yeah, this thing was like easy, foot long, sliced pork, like sitting in these juices all day. Provolone cheese, man. It was heaven, man.
It was awesome.
I loved it.
So this isn't an audition for Food Network, so we'll move on. But
Yeah. So that's that.
yeah, so I text Josh. I think he's dead. Because what you don't know about the story is this weekend he pulled a hamstring.
Thursday night, I pull a hamstring playing soccer with my kids' soccer team.
So he's walking around with a fucking cane.
Dude, I would not have made it all day if I did not have something to lean on.
I think Ray Park only talked to you because he felt bad for you. And not only did he like walk around with his cane, but he did like everything old people do with their cane. So he's like looking through the boxes and you hang your cane on the front of the box so it doesn't like tip over. Then we're going through the metal checkout, the metal detectors. And instead of reaching across the table to grab his keys, he pulls the cane out and hooks the keys with his cane and drags them across the table instead of walking like a step.
Hey,
I was like, are you fucking ridiculous?
Hey, I thought that was using my head. Why would I walk over when I could just reach and pull, man?
It was embarrassing. Thank God I wasn't seen with you for much at all.
And then like, he would not even walk near me. So I'm like yelling after him, like, "Hey, you little whippersnapper.
I can't
come
walk
back
that
here.
slow, for one.
Get back here. You kids don't care about the older generation." You know, I'm hitting him with the cane. I'm like smacking things. Look over there, you know. I try to have fun with it.
It was pathetic.
Hey, I don't know, man. I'm older than you. I don't heal. This is why I don't play sports. This is why I'm not that physically active. Maybe this is why I should be, and this is why we're so fucking dysfunctional, is because you're like the epitome of physical fitness, and I obviously am not. But hey, shit happens. I'm the old jalopy, so I break down from time to time. But hey, thanks for going back to the car and getting my cane.
Yeah, I'm not going to need the cane. 2 minutes later, I got to walk back. And he was like, I'll go get it. I'm like, by the time you go and come back, the show's going to be over. So, of course, I had to go get it. Plus, I felt guilty that he's like hobbling along.
So you actually do care a little about me.
I was more concerned about the time that I would have wasted waiting for you. I should have just went in and did my own thing. Probably cost me however many books, but it wasn't open yet, so... You're lucky.
Hey, thanks for getting the old man's cane. So this is what, hey, these are the sacrifices that we make to bring you a quality podcast. That's the way I look at it, you know, hobbling around in pain, making Aaron look ridiculous. He's walking through Philly with the cane, like just holding it. He clearly doesn't need it.
So can I tell you about a tribulation I had today?
Sure.
A little aside.
Yeah.
So I take out all my comics today. You know, I got to put the shit away that I bought. And I'm stacking the boxes up, stacking them. And they're about like 6 high, you know, like 10 across. Don't you know, the fucking end row, Leaning Tower, it falls over. I'm watching it slow-mo. It falls.
Did you try to catch it at all? Just
no, because there was no
total
saving
shock.
It went right through the fucking door.
What?
It broke through the door.
What, like your like
The bedroom door.
to the room? It broke through.
Yeah, so they're in the spare bedroom. It broke right through the door. So now I got to buy a new door. See, this is when you know you have problems and they have too many books that you have to take them out. They stack so damn high you can't even keep them organized or whatever, you know, stable. And then you break your door because of it. So that was my tribulation.
Did you rip it right off the fucking hinges?
No, there's just a hole. It looked like I punted my foot through the door. So
Dude, that's awesome.
yeah, so that's gonna be $70 or $80 or whatever a door is.
That's awesome.
So yeah,
See, I'm sorry. Well, first thing first. How are the books? Books are fine, right?
they seem fine.
All right,
Yeah,
all right.
miraculously.
That's good. That's good. I mean, they should be, but that's the most important thing. Fuck the door. How are your books?
I saw one of these variants I got to pay for the door.
There you go.
Yeah, so.
You know.
But overall, awesome show.
Yeah.
Again, Keystone, you did a great job.
Yep.
We'll recommend it to everybody.
Absolutely. Thank you again for the press passes. Appreciate it. You know. And we're looking forward to coming back next year.
So just a reminder, in 2 weeks, we're going to have our interview with Robbie Morgan from the original Friday the 13th. And be sure to follow us on social media.
Right. We're on Twitter at DNerdcast, Facebook, Dysfunctional Nerdcast. You can always email us, dysfunctionalnerdcast@gmail.com. Check us out on Twitter too, because we're following a lot of cool people on there. There's other podcasts that we follow that are following us. They're doing a great job out there too. We're following the celebrities. So, you know, if you never knew that they had a Twitter page or an account, then hey, check out who we're following and who's following us. Also the YouTube, all of our episodes go up on YouTube, but Aaron also does his awesome toy video reviews and stuff. So check that stuff out as well and subscribe to the YouTube channel.
And hit us up, dysfunctionalnerdcast@gmail.com.
Yeah. Let us know how we're doing. Check out all our past interviews too. We've hit a lot of interviews recently. We're going to try to hit some more, and you never know who's going to be on the podcast.
So until next time, may you take better care than my broken door and Josh's pulled hammy.